I'm Michelle Graves, your host on today's segment of The Power of Money. I'm glad to have you here. Now, at The Power of Money, we are interested in three things happening. First, we want you to get the necessary education so that you and your family can make the decisions that will impact positively on you in your financial life. The second thing is that you be empowered to prosper. I only want the best for you. And you can only get that if you have education and then the drive to make it happen. And the third thing that is so important to me is that you recognize that life is more than a journey, and that you be energized so that you can begin to participate in the truly joyous experience of living. So, here's to empowerment, here's to education, and here's to energy. I'm Michelle Graves, your host, Power of Money, and here we go. And here we go, and I'm delighted, absolutely delighted to be a part of your world for the next hour. We've got an exciting show today and an absolutely amazing guest who can truly transform many of your lives once you get the information. And as I've said in the past, information and technology are priceless. You can get the information you need, and you have the technology to back you up where you're good to go. So without further ado, my guest today is Zet Yarbough, and I'm going to bring you a brief video so you can get to know this remarkable woman.
I would just like to take the time to thank Ms. Zet and Reaching Self-Reliant students for everything they do. I mean, without them, I definitely would not be where I am today. I'll be a rising senior at the University of Cincinnati studying child performance, and she helped tremendously in making it possible for me to go to my dream school debt-free. Ms. Zet, she knows the ins and outs of everything. She helped me through all the scholarship applications, even college applications. She helped me appeal for more financial aid. Anything you can think of, she helps write essays, everything. She's just an amazing person overall, and to this day, I'm eternally grateful for her help. And like I said, I definitely would not be where I am today, and I just can't thank her enough. Thank you, Ms. Zet.
Now, wasn't that amazing to hear these young people talk about how their lives changed from this woman and what she does? So I'm not going to go into a lot of background because I'm going to let her carry the show today. She's got so much information to give you. I'll ask questions, but I'm going to let her take the lead, mainly because she is the CEO of a company, a nonprofit that is based in Southern Ohio, that gives free money to young people of color who want to go to college. And I have to say this because I am so against student loans. I was from the beginning when it was brought to me well over 25 years ago. And I know the two guys that started it. It was called Sally Mae. And I thought it was a nice form of putting young people in jail. Because when you're in debt, you can't move forward. Many of you already know that. But can you imagine putting young people at the beginning of their life story in debt? I'm talking about thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars of debt. And with the expectation that they're going to go into the marketplace and get a great job and pay off this bill. Well, to add insult to injury, listeners, the government got involved. Oh my God. And essentially securitized or guaranteed this debt, which meant that if the student didn't pay, the government would take whatever they needed to take to get their money, because it's now a federal debt. I'm just disgusted, okay? I am just disgusted at what they did to our young people. But I've got great news, and that's why this woman is on today to talk about what she does and to give testimony and witness to all the young people who have benefited. I hope this resonates within you if you're a parent or a grandparent or know young people who are extremely focused. It's not free money for sluggards. Okay, let's be clear about this. This is for young people who have shown themselves to be focused and wanting to do better. So, without further ado, I'm going to introduce to my audience today, wherever you're tuning in, just have a seat. This is good info, and get a pen and paper out too, because you're going to want to write some stuff down. Zet Yarbough, who is the president of Reaching Self-Reliant Students, LLC, based in Southern Ohio. How are you this morning?
I'm doing great, and I'm glad to be here.
I'm so glad to have you here. What you're doing is so absolutely remarkable. Why don't you tell us how you got into this? Give us a little bit of background, if you don't mind.
I'll be glad to. In 1992, my son Brandon wanted to go to college. We were working a couple of years ahead of time, and I explained to him that loans are not an option, because I knew the history of loans, and I know how that can affect you for up to 10, 20, maybe even 30 years.
Yes, indeed.
So I said, you'll have to work hard, I'll work with you, and we will look for scholarships. So we started on the scholarship journey. And the first year he attended the University of Rochester in Rochester, New York. The tuition then was $25,000. I checked, it's over $60,000 now.
Today.
Yes. It was over $25,000. I just stayed up and worked with God. I will say that. I asked God to open a door so that we could get this journey accomplished without living with a lot of debt. At the end of the first year, $25,000, we owed $1,700.
Remarkable.
$1,700. The second year, I learned the mistake I made the first year. The balance was zero.
Good for you. That
the balance
is
was
great.
zero. And I started word of mouth, neighbors, friends, co-workers, kids at church. I started helping them with their collegiate funding. A lot of parents and students didn't know where to start. They didn't know what to do. That old saying, what you don't know can't hurt you. With scholarships, also known as free money, what you don't know can hurt you, because there are many things that you can do which will put you into more financial debt. So you have to be very careful about that. And in doing so, I said, if I can help these young people, I can help students in schools. We started doing group sessions. We also started doing workshops. We had one workshop which was over 300 people that attended. They were standing along the walls in the hallway because there were so many people hungry for this information. I had one student who is a grad-free, debt-free graduate at UC, and he didn't want to come. His grandmother said, we are going because she has some information that is essential to your college funding. So he came. His name is Joseph. Joseph came, and he saw all these young people, and he wrote me a letter and said, thank you for helping me, for giving me the information about college funding. And he was able to attend UC full ride.
Nothing.
No debt.
No debt.
Because of what we had taught at the workshop. And we've had several workshops. We also have gone into various schools and we talk with the juniors and seniors. I'm inclined to feel that you really need to start in your sophomore year.
That's the 10th grade.
Yes,
Okay.
it's the sophomore year. You can start taking your ACT. The ACT test is something that colleges really look at, and a lot of it's based on your score. If the higher your score, the higher amount of money that you'll get, and all of that trickles down to what I call zero balance.
So the quest for free money should begin in the 10th grade.
That's my opinion. It should begin in the 10th grade. Now look, I have an 8-year-old. The parents are teachers.
Okay.
And every Saturday, they have this book. It's called My Future, My Way.
Oh my
And this is put out
gosh.
by the federal government. And it says, My Future, My Way, First Steps Toward College, a workbook for middle and junior high school students. And every Saturday they sit down and they go over something in the book
With an 8-year-old.
with an 8-year-old.
But you know what? I think that's absolutely appropriate
I think so too.
because children have to be trained.
Yes, they do.
And if a parent is not willing to identify gifts and talents early, they will miss the mark.
Yes, definitely,
I believe that.
definitely.
That they will miss the mark for that child's future.
You're
And
right.
you can't really play catch up when a child is now 14 and 15 to motivate and inspire them to become a contributing member of our society.
Exactly.
So I think that's fantastic.
I think of it as planting seeds.
Okay.
You know, I'm a Kentucky girl. And
Yes,
from
I
the
am
country.
too.
Yes, you are.
I'm a country girl.
And, you know, planting seeds early. I did that with my sons, and I found that sometimes even when you think they're not listening, they're listening to you and watching you. There is also another book that the government puts out. It's called the College Preparation Checklist.
Okay.
And this is primarily for high school students and parents,
Okay.
because it tells you every year what you should be doing as a guideline. You know, you should be getting your essay, you should be getting your letters of recommendation, taking your ACT, things like that. So we try to, our goal is to have juniors and seniors. Juniors, please, because a lot of times they wait until the senior year, which for many students is almost too late. They have so much to do in their junior year. In our program, in their senior year, they primarily focus on free money, also known as scholarships or grants. That's money that does not have to be repaid, which helps them in the future not have to worry about student loan debt.
What do you feel about that? I know I have my biases, but you're in the industry and you're dealing with outcomes and effects. So what is your thought process about this whole issue of student loan debt and it being a federal debt now?
I think it's unfortunate that when our teens go into the office of a counselor or counselors and they discuss financial aid for college. I believe, first of all, a parent should be present. And
Listeners, listen to this.
a
This is
parent
important.
should be present and working with these teenagers. Teenagers don't handle the money, the parents do. So they'll just sign on the dotted line, not knowing what they're signing and what the responsibility and the end result is. So whenever we have consultations with families, it is mandatory that parents come.
Have you had situations where parents did not come?
Yes. We've had situations where parents at the last minute have said, well, I can't make it, I'm sending my child. No, we'll reschedule. And then when we reschedule, when you and your husband or you can come and, we can work together because it's a family situation. If it's a single parent, that single parent must come and be present and participate in this. Because our kids sign these congratulatory letters that come in the mail, and they've applied for certain colleges. Oh, I'm applying for college ABC. I got my letter. In that letter, generally, they're going to have an amount of money that they're going to award you. First of all, they're excited because they were accepted.
Okay.
All right? Acceptance. When you receive that acceptance letter, there will be an amount that the college will say, we're going to award you, let's pick a number, $5,000.
Okay.
If the tuition is $30,000,
then that's $25,000 short.
$25,000 short. But they're not thinking ahead of that,
okay.
or they're not doing any type of subtraction here because they're excited. They're very excited. I think it's important that that's still $25,000 short. That must be paid back with interest. So they're graduating from college. They have to pay these loans back. Some can't even find a job yet.
Right.
And I know a couple, a young couple, graduated college. To date, they are paying $910 a month.
Toward their debt?
Toward their debt from their student loans.
That's compounding.
That's right.
That because it's not frozen.
That's right.
So those kids are paying toward their student debt.
Yes.
More than a mortgage.
Yes, they are.
I'm so serious.
It's sad but true. The reality of it is they don't have the information that they needed on that journey, which could have started in high school.
That's why you're on this show. Because I am so deeply offended by what our country has done to young people, to pull them into a system of debt.
That's right.
And as adults, we all know that debt will strangle you in the end. You will be dangling in the wind trying to figure this thing out.
You're right.
And now you immediately baptize young people into debt, and many times their parents have co-signed, which means the parents are now in debt.
Yes.
More debt.
Yes, more
for
debt.
the benefit of a child who has not yet reached maturity around money.
That's right.
It's so offensive to me.
Yes.
I'm so serious. This is so offensive.
It's
to me.
offensive to me also. And then when a lot of times when we're doing the free application for federal student aid, also known as the FAFSA.
Okay.
All right. We tell the parents we need your W-2s because you come under their social security number because you are a dependent student. So you have to complete and submit the FAFSA. you will receive a response back generally within 72 hours.
That quick?
Yes, they send you an
Technology.
email.
Oh, boy.
The parents have a pen, the student has a pen, and they send you an email. And then I have parents calling me, we didn't get any money. We didn't get any money. I said, okay. Did you go to college? Yes, I did. Did you take out a student loan? Yes, I took out a couple of loans. Did you pay the student loan off? Well, no. Did you make arrangements to make payments? No. Well, then the government, you owe them money. They're not going to give you money from the FAFSA if you still owe them money.
Oh my God. Oh, Zet.
Yeah, because the parents are saying, well, I don't understand. All they offered us was a loan. That's all they offered. We didn't get any free money. The people across the street, their kids got free money. That's why.
Because you owe the government.
You owe the government.
Now, I was going to also say that's also the case if a person has tax liens, any kind of obligations toward the federal government, nullify that process, correct?
Yes.
My goodness.
So and on the average, it can vary. On the average, it's around $6,000.
Okay.
That students get. That starts them on their journey.
That's a start.
That's a start.
But
Okay.
if the parents have unpaid obligations to the government, then you've already short-circuited that process.
Exactly.
So what is a parent to do? They have to pay that debt off.
Yes.
They're not going to do it.
No.
Yeah. Nope. They're not
No.
going to do it.
I've had some very sad stories come my way. Brilliant students who've worked hard, high GPAs. And because of the history with the parent and the loan, they can't get that money.
So what is a child? So can you please tell me where people can get those 2 brochures you talked about? How do they get them?
Well, they can get them from, they can contact me, or they can go on, this would be better. They could go on Federal Student Aid, and there's also one for FAFSA.
Okay.
But they go on Federal Student Aid. It's on Facebook, FAFSA on Facebook. A lot of the teens like Facebook.
Okay, yeah.
All right, and Federal Student Aid. And you can Google that for the children. And we also have the college preparation checklist. And I really do like this one. I like both of them. But for example, it says high school, every year in high school, parents on the left, you do this, students on the right,
And they
you
do
do
that.
that.
Yeah.
So it sort of gives you a guideline to know when and where to start.
Okay, because I think we need to at least lay a foundation for where people can begin and how they can get
Exactly.
the information before they get into your world.
Right.
There's some preliminaries that parents need to
Yes.
do. So
Yes.
the FAFSA is something they can get online as well?
Yes, absolutely.
Good.
I
good.
look all this up too, and I do a lot of Googling. And I've talked to counselors at high schools and principals. And I go to different sessions where they're giving information. Sometimes it's incorrect information. And I'll give you an example.
I would love to hear
Okay. I went to this session, and they were talking about FAFSA, and they were talking about when you should file your FAFSA, and then they said, well, when can you file it? And the speaker said, oh, anytime. You can, anytime, it really doesn't matter. And when in reality, because the FAFSA's government money, you file it on October the 1st. I tell kids that we work with 5 minutes after midnight, because that's free money. The clock starts ticking after midnight.
October the 1st.
October the 1st. So if you wait till December, what's left?
It's over.
Well, you could still get a little money,
But not
nothing
as
like
much. Right.
nothing
okay.
like in October.
Okay.
Now, see, that's something that a lot of students don't know and parents don't know, and that can make a huge difference in their financial aid.
Okay.
You know, in doing that.
Okay. And is that the FAFSA, because I'm familiar with that and with my own children, that is government money that does not have to be repaid?
Exactly.
So that is your first free money.
First
FAFSA.
free money.
October the 1st, bing, midnight.
Yes.
Get it in.
I know several years back when you would have watch night service and midnight, you know, you'd be at church. I would have kids all in the vestibule with their laptops sitting there, and I said, 1 minute after midnight, press send, submit. And they were, it was so cute to watch them sit up there, and they're just waiting. They're
Right,
just waiting.
for midnight.
Okay, Miss Zet, you said 1 minute after midnight. Yes, press it, and there they are.
That is so exciting, though. That is so. That's the first entree into free money.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go. Now, another thing that our students and parents, when they're going over this with them, you have to look at two things: eligibility requirements and deadlines. Every student that comes my way, I give them a calendar.
Okay.
Okay. Well, you know, we can put it in our phone. You can lose your phone.
Right.
Okay. Let's do the calendar so that the parents can see the deadline. That's important. And so every year, I go through all the resources I have with scholarships, because deadlines can change.
Huh.
Yes. I had one that changed on me. I won't say the name, but one that changed on me. The deadline was always in March.
Okay.
So when the student said, well, you know, they said that it's past the deadline. I said, no, it's not. It's in February. So I called this foundation and I said, I'm just calling to check on, you know, the deadline. Oh, we changed it.
They changed it and did not say, well.
I felt so bad, and there was nothing I could do.
Nothing.
Nothing I could do. So I hold the parents and the students responsible for that when I give them that information.
They need to check deadlines.
They need to check the deadlines.
Okay.
They do. That's very important. And once a deadline is in place, there is no getting around it.
So if you submit paperwork after the deadline, you just thrown it in the garbage.
Exactly.
And they're not going to look at it.
Exactly. And what I was in a session over at Xavier University. I was in a session over there, and there was something that had to be sent, and they had to receive it by a certain day. I said, I highly recommend you do not use U.S. mail. If you have to spend a few extra dollars, it's worth it. FedEx it. FedEx it overnight, because you have a signature that guarantees it's been received, and you have proof. I said, do not put stamps on that envelope and put it in the mail. What did one of the parents do?
Put stamps on it.
She was so upset during the session. She stood. I was doing a presentation. She said, Miss Zet is right, because we lost $8,000.
Oh, no.
It got there the next day.
The next day. So it's not about postmark. It's about arrival.
Arrival.
My gosh.
$8,000.
$8,000 over a
She stood up.
$25 FedEx fee.
She was still upset over that. You know, I'm speaking, and she just stood up. She said, listen to what she says because we lost $8,000.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, deadlines are important.
I'm not kidding you about it. Shouldn't speak ill of the post office, but I am telling you, there's something going on in Dodge City. That's all I'm going to say.
I already know.
I am so, as we speak, annoyed because I'm a business owner. I have to have my mail.
Yes.
And you don't know when you're going to get your mail anymore. As they said, you get it when you get it. And I told them, well, that's like riding a horse and saying I'll ride it and I'll get there when I get there.
They get there when I get there.
No. So I totally understand. So they have to be willing to invest the $25
Yeah.
into a FedEx overnight, and then it's tight.
They do.
Yeah.
And I tell them
$8,000.
I tell them twice. I try to tell everybody something twice.
Okay.
Because first time it might slip by you, or you might forget it. But I recommend that they, sit there and take notes with their students, so that everybody is on the same page. If you have free money that is sitting there, don't think that you're the only person who's going after that free money. The competition over the past 3 years has been extremely fierce.
What do you attribute that to?
Extremely. Well, you have, we're in a pandemic. We went into a pandemic, and I know that a lot of people have lost jobs, and, they don't have the income they used to have.
Right.
I thought about that, and, the good thing is I collaborate with other nonprofits.
Okay.
And we're able to help them even outside the realm of money.
Okay.
To give you an example, I went to a tire place.
Okay.
And it was 21 degrees that morning.
That's cold.
And this grandmother called me and said, can you help me? It's really cold, and my grandson has grown out of his coat, and I don't have money to buy a coat. The person who was working at the store, he overheard the conversation, and he told me, he said, I wasn't meddling in your conversation, but I heard what you said, and I have teenagers, and if any one of my teens had to walk to school with no coat, 21 degrees, he said it would just kill me.
Right.
He said they gave us jackets yesterday, didn't have an emblem on it, just a plain jacket, warm padded jacket. And he said, can you be here at 8:30 tomorrow morning? I will bring it to you.
My word.
I was there at 8:10.
I know you were.
I was there, and he had it in plastic, handed me the jacket, and I took the jacket to the grandmother.
Oh, I know she was blessed.
And she was really glad, she was tearful.
Of course.
There have been other situations where, kids have worked hard to progress, and that touches my heart deeply when I see them work as hard as they do. And then the basic essential things that I know I've taken for granted, and many of us take for granted. One young lady said, Ms. Zet, I only have 2 pairs of jeans and a sweatshirt. Period. Well, I'll just say this, that was taken care of.
I'm sure.
That was taken care of. Even to food. I collaborate with a nonprofit in Indiana.
Okay.
And there's a certain space where we meet at in town, and he'll call me the night before and he'll say, Zet, clean out your trunk, clean out your back seat.
Right.
Because, he supports what we do. He supports what we do. I'll tell you this. A lot of this has been out of pocket.
I'm
For me,
sure. I'm positive
and
on that.
and as the word has gotten out, I went to the doctor, regular doctor visit, and he always says, Zet, my job is to take care of you.
Mm-hmm.
Your job is to take care of the students.
Right.
I said, okay. I said, and you're doing a very good job. So when I went back for a follow-up visit, he said, Zet, how are things going with your students? I said, oh, they're going well. And many times I'll show him pictures
Yes.
and of events we've had and everything. And 2 days later, I got a letter from him in the mail. And I'm thinking, this is his writing. Usually they'll type it out. This is his writing. And it was a check for $200
My word.
from my doctor. And he said, I want to thank you for, as you say, making a difference.
Yes.
And my piano teacher told me at 8 years old, she said, we must do two things in life. We must, number one, make a difference. And number two, leave a legacy.
Yes.
I said, I don't know what a legacy is. I'm 8 years old. She said, you will, my dear.
Uh-huh. And she's correct.
Yeah.
What she said is absolutely, absolutely
Yeah, it's true.
what is needed, even more so today. I will tell you, I have never, ever seen so many young people that are confused about where to go. When I tell them, what is your goal in life? And they don't seem to have a clue.
I know.
And it's troubling because if you don't have a goal and a focus, in America, you'll be anywhere. I mean, you will be anywhere, anywhere, quickly.
Anyway,
Quickly, not a lag time, quickly.
You're
So,
absolutely right.
I think that is important. Do you want to talk about goals and how do you identify good candidates for this process?
Well, one thing I do, and my friends think it's really silly on my part, but one thing I'll do, and I'll walk into the classroom and I'll say, okay, I have a question for everyone. Same question for every student. What is your purpose?
Oh my gosh.
What is your purpose? And it gets quiet. They're chitty-chatty. It gets quiet. And I said, who wants to go first? And they're looking at each other. And I'll say, who wants to go first? Come on. Everyone has to give me an answer. Well, no, well,
Yeah.
what is your purpose? Everyone has a purpose.
Yes.
And everyone has different ideas about their purpose. I knew my purpose when I was 10. When I was 10 years young. I know it sounds odd, but
No, it does not
10
at all.
years old, I knew my purpose. And so I have sons.
Yes.
I have two wonderful sons. And I think they're wonderful.
Okay.
And I'll ask them, I started asking them when they were young, what is your purpose? Room gets quiet. But I kept asking them and kept asking them. And then one day, one of them came and said, I know what my purpose is, Mom. I know what, he said, as a matter of fact, I wrote it down and I put it in an envelope. Yeah, so, you have to plant those seeds. I think it's important that our students have support from their, as people call it, their village, their family and friends. That is important. In working with scholarships, never, ever did I think I would come across a situation where I have a student whose mother's trying to commit suicide for the 4th time.
Oh, no.
He gets off the school bus and he goes in there and she's trying to commit suicide. You would be surprised at what our youth are facing that probably you never had to face or I had to never face. The challenges that they have. And then on top of that, they're trying to better themselves, head for college,
Right.
and they have to have support.
Because
have to have the support.
suicide or not, she's still the parent.
She is.
And she still has to rise up to the situation with regard to her child.
Yes.
Or else her child will be lost, or children will be lost. Because truthfully, at 18 years old, choices do have to be made if you're going to go into the military.
Yes.
That has to be in place with the recruiters. And if you're going to go to college, who's going to pay for it and how? Or if you're going to go to trade school, who's going to pay for it and how? And I do believe that a lot of children are not college material.
I believe that too.
I think they need to learn how to be a good plumber so I can hire them or send them to Houston with all the water pipes blowing and get them a job. But with your foundation, you focus strictly on college though.
We focus on money
Okay.
for education.
For education,
Okay.
wherever that appears.
So the monies, it can be for a 2-year vocational.
Really?
Yes, it can be.
Oh my goodness.
It can be for 2-year vocational because, like you said, we need plumbers, electricians.
We do.
We need everybody's
right,
help.
right.
So a
Car
lot of
mechanics.
times,
I mean, my goodness, in Cincinnati, there used to be a school which has evolved into Cincinnati State. But when I was young, it was called Central High School. And it was a trade school for kids that wanted to learn typing and auto repair and plumbing and electrical. And that whole industry went out of favor at one point, trade school. It evolved from Central to Quarter Tech, and now it's Cincinnati State. But those are the roots of that whole evolution. And my sorrow was, we need these skills.
yes, we do.
And not every kid is going to want to go to a formal 4-year college.
It's not for everybody.
It's not.
It really isn't for everybody. And I even called a foundation here in the city because I think, in my opinion, a lot of times this is overlooked.
Okay.
And that's a second chance.
For kids who have come against the system
Yes.
and been incarcerated?
Yes, a second chance is overlooked. So I called this one foundation, ask if they have scholarships for second chance. And I was told, yes, we do. However,
Let's hear
it
the
cannot
however,
be drug related.
as in marijuana. Or what?
It's legal now.
I was
you know,
going to
but
say, but still the mindset, it may be legal on paper, but a lot of people got caught up in that system and were incarcerated, or young people put into juvenile detention, that type of thing, because they were distributors or dealers, and they want to come back right.
Yes, give them an opportunity
I mean, they're so young.
to get on with their life.
Yes.
Many times, all a person, a child or adult, needs is the opportunity.
Right.
An opportunity to do that. And I had decided, because I've been working on Reaching Self-Reliant Students Scholarship,
Okay.
and you know, I had to set down my eligibility requirements.
Okay, let's hear it.
All right. Well, the eligibility requirements is still a work in progress because
Okay.
I had to really pray and think over that, because I believe in second chances.
I do too.
You know, and I said I want to put this as one of the eligibility requirements, as far as, you know, second chances. And another thing is, for example, if I live in a zip code where the income level is normally low, and you have a scholarship in another part of town where the
Okay.
income is high.
Okay.
It's, to me, where these parents can write a check for that.
Right.
Oh, it's 40,000. Okay, I'll write it. That's
And
it.
done. Mm-hmm.
Let's level the playing field.
Right.
All right. So let's take and change some of those eligibility requirements.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, as we speak, if you are looking for, say, a need-based scholarship,
Okay.
that's how they're worded, need-based, then your parents cannot make over $130,000.
That's 65 per average for each parent.
Right.
That's a low threshold.
Yeah, but I made it even lower. on
Okay.
mine. Yeah,
Okay.
because there are parents who don't make that much money.
Correct.
A
lot.
So that's why I'm trying to be
Mm-hmm.
inclusive, and I'm suggesting that to contributors to our Reaching Self-Reliant business, and it's interesting to hear to receive the feedback from people who have supported us. I'm getting people who say, "Oh, I think that's great."
Right.
That second chance, or the LGBT community. One of my friends works for a large corporation, retired from a large corporation, and he gave them a $2,000 check for LGBT, and it's renewable.
Okay.
See, that's another word that you want to look out for. When you
Okay.
see these scholarships, and it's all well and fine to say, "Oh, okay, it's $10,000." Well, it's even better if for the following year, and you've kept your GPA
Right.
up,
Right.
that it can be renewed.
Okay.
Okay,
So is
that's
that in the contract itself?
that will be in the eligibility requirements
Okay.
for the
Okay.
scholarship.
Okay.
It's renewed. So you want to look for that word,
Rather
renewed.
than a one-time distribution.
They'll print it out on there. This is not non-renewable.
They will say that.
Oh, they will say that
Oh, wow.
non-renewable. Yeah.
Okay,
So you have
okay.
to look for that. It's the
Right.
little thing
It's the little foxes.
that can add to those zeros or subtract from the zeros.
Yes, not knowing that.
Yeah.
May I shift for a minute, because I'm looking at this poster here that's on the table. If we could zoom in on that and look at this, because these are all your students.
These are all my debt-free students.
Oh my God, hold that. I want the camera to get that. Can you zoom in for this picture here that she's holding? Well, I was going to ask if yeah, there it is.
You see it?
These are students that have
Yeah.
benefited.
Yeah.
They each have their story.
They each have their story. Now, the one right here where my thumb was, Natira Bean, came to me, "Miss Zet, can you help me? I want to go to Xavier."
Okay, in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Well,
Very,
you-
very expensive school.
Well, thank you. Very
Yes,
expensive.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
So
Six
she
figures.
was going to Purcell Marion
High
in the
school.
morning, high school,
Okay.
in the morning, and then she would go to college in the afternoon, taking college courses
In high school,
in high school.
self-motivated.
Yes, and at the end of the day, when all the monies was counted for, and we're talking about what we do is add supplemental scholarships in addition to what the college has required. Are you ready for this amount?
I'm listening.
$300,000.
She got $300,000.
Well,
Was-
the college got three.
the-
They
yeah,
got
yeah,
three.
yeah.
But she did that, and she has a 2-year-old son.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, and I told her, and she would call me, and she said, "Miss Zet, I got another scholarship. Miss Zet, I got another scholarship." And she even wrote, and there are some testimonials that I carry with me. She said, "If I can do it, I know anybody can do it. It wasn't easy, but I did it. And
That is, her name is
Natira
Bean.
Yes, Natira Bean.
That's an unusual name.
Yes.
Okay.
Now this young man here, Nadir, his name is Nadir.
Okay.
Nadir wanted to go to UC, and his mother came to me and said, "You have to help me because I'm divorced and I don't, have a lot of money."
I don't have that money, yeah.
And so I said, "Well, let me talk to Nadir." I said, "Nadir, there are 3 things I want you to do when you come back next Friday, okay?" Because I already knew.
Okay.
We know our kids.
Yes, we do. He looks
So-
like such a well-mannered
Oh,
young man.
he is, and he'll send me little notes. How are you?
He looks like that.
It's snowing and it's freezing rain. Miss Zet, be careful driving. He will send me
Oh
little
my
notes. Yes, he
gosh.
does.
Oh my-
Yes, he
Be
does.
careful driving.
Be careful driving.
Oh.
But Nadir, I said he has been, the term I use is really, really loved.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
So I said, Nadir, 3 things. He said, okay, Miss Zet. So he comes back the following Friday. Mom comes with him. And I said, did you complete the 3 items? Well, I did 1. Okay. So I said, by the way, did you see it was some special show on TV that came on that week, or game or something? Oh, yes, I saw that. I said, so you had time to do
that, but not to do
Okay,
me.
I see where your priorities are.
Uh-huh.
All right. So he comes back the 3rd week. I said, did you do anything I asked you to do? Well, I've got 1 left. There was only 3 items. I've got 1 left. I said, okay. And what's that? And he told me, and I said, well, now I have a surprise for you. I said, what we're going to do is this: since you are so busy,
Right.
since you're so busy, I'll tell you what we'll do. I'll give you time to do what you want. Now, I didn't say need, what you want to do. So call me after 30 days.
Oh, my words.
The mother she teared up and said, call me after 30 days. But Miss Zet, I said 30 days,
30
not 29,
30 days.
And I said, I will call you. So I waited past the 30 days. And I called him. He answered the phone. Hello, Miss Zet.
Yeah, I bet. Reality clicked in.
It did.
Reality.
It did. And I told her.
I don't mean to cut you short, but I need you to give your telephone number to our audience because our time is up.
Oh,
I know
up.
it goes really fast.
I
Television goes
see.
fast.
Oh.
But give us your phone number, including your area code.
Okay, our phone number is 513-549-4502. I'll give it again. 513-549-4502. And let me give you the website.
Thank you.
Okay, the website is rsrsfreemoney.com. That's rsrsfreemoney.com.
Thank
And
you.
I would be glad to hear from you. So please give us a call. Look at our website and hear the testimonials and see the services that we offer, how we can help you. And I will be looking forward to hearing from you from this show. And thank you so much for having me.
Oh my gosh.
I really do
told
appreciate
you,
this.
I had to do this. And for those of you in my viewing audience, Zet Yarbough, the free money lady, I'm so honored to have her. And I will just be totally open with you about her because she's a remarkable woman and the services that she does provide. When you go onto the website, there will be questions, etc., for her to go on and pre-screen you and to pre-qualify you. Because she is techno-savvy, there is a $100 fee for doing that initial review. I want to be totally upfront with you because, like everything that you want that's valuable, you can't ask for $100,000 and not be willing to put some skin in the game. That's called the world of business. Nonprofit or for-profit, we still have to keep our lights on and our bills paid. So be respectful of that. And I do hope you have enjoyed today's interview with her. And like myself, when I had her on my radio show, and I said I have to put her on television because what she's doing is bigger than Southwest Ohio. It's a national piece. So give her your support and reach out to her, and just, if you want to make mention of where you heard it, that's fine. I'll be delighted to know that. And in closing out today's session of The Power of Money, and in her field, money is powerful. I'm Michelle Graves, your host. And again, what a pleasure. You take care, and God bless you. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.